So this is a look at my spring garden. I'm starting on the southeast corner of it. Right coming up here are some radishes. Let's move that big chunk of compost. I composted these all in just last week. Oh, there's a weed. Let's get rid of that. And then one right here. So once again, this is my square foot garden. Some of the peas either didn't germinate or got eaten by birds in there. And I have some peas there and some onions. And you'll see a lot of peas right now because that's one of my favorite spring crops. Some more onions. Then we have some dinosaur kale and some more peas. These boxes, I was kind of had them covered with my greenhouse that was over this portion right here. I've now taken the greenhouse off because I think we're pretty much due for warmer weather. In this grow box I have some more dinosaur kale, some beets right here, some kale with some lettuce mix. I must have forgot that I planted kale in there, some celery, some more lettuce, some beets in this one, peas, lettuce, more peas, some beets, another thing of kale. And this one I haven't put in anything yet. I plan on doing that this next week. I'll figure out what I'm going to put in it. I'll probably end up leaving what will be the back row for the square foot garden completely empty for tomatoes, because I'm not sure if I can plant anything now to get a crop out of that will leave me room for tomatoes. And that's the same thing with back here. I should have thought different when I put that kale in, but the kale is in now. Nothing I can do about it. Maybe there'll be some for harvesting, but the rest of these peas I'll just take them out so the tomatoes can come in. And once again I'll be trellising them on this rack right here, and I'll be fixing those other ones. But this portion of my spring gardens is going great so far this year. I'm really excited for the lettuce. Nice, full, beautiful. Next I'll go over and show you my potatoes. So I'm actually really surprised at how much my potatoes have popped up this year already. This is just a typical permaculture garden with a lot of wood chips under there to help keep the moisture in. I had originally planted the potatoes and then came across and did a thing of peas. And my hope was that the peas would come through and be producing before the potatoes popped up. Well, that wasn't the case this year. Potatoes popped up way earlier than I had wanted or expect them to, so I might not even get anything off of these peas. But that's okay. The whole point of me planting the peas in here wasn't so much to get a harvest of food as much as it was to put some nitrogen into the soil for the potatoes to use later on. Then over here, typically I would have planted potatoes over here like the last couple of years, but this year I decided to put my big crop of onions in here. So I have some sweet apple reds or something like that, red candy apple, with a volunteer potato coming up right there that I may or may not remove. I don't know. I have a lot of reds in the other garden, so we're going to probably just keep it in here. Then I have this blank space right here that has a volunteer potato. Then these are my ringmaster onions. Another blank space, and coming up here on the end, these are our Walla Wallas. And the idea that I was going to do with this garden this year was in these blank spots, I'm going to come back in and plant 5 rows, if I can get it in, of a meal corn. This is a corn that you would grind into a flour or into something that you're going to bake with. And if you noticed, I left a row out kind of right here, and the whole idea was this is where the roof drips off, and that would stop it from getting dug up by the water dripping off of the house by leaving it blank. This is also the section where I'm going to be putting in the drip system. I'll have it come down, and I'm might do 3 in here. 1 right down the center, and then 2 on each sides. I haven't quite decided yet. But anyway, about the corn. This is a corn that we can turn into a flour and even feed to our chickens. And that was the idea. Looking back on it now, what I wish I would have done was planted this in with quite a bit of peas. And same with over here. That way the peas would have put that nitrogen back into the soil, and then I could have planted my corn back in on top of that nice inoculated soil. Right now I think it's too late now to plant peas in it and get a crop before I need to plant the corn. But part of me is kind of thinking, well, maybe I plant the corn, wait for it to come up, and then plant peas back in with it. Kind of doing a version of the Three Sisters, but just with 2. Or perhaps even some pole beans to climb the corn. That would give us more food in a smaller spot, but also allow for the beans to give the corn some needed nitrogen. So these are the gardens where I have stuff growing here at my place. I'll show you a nice little thing that my wife picked up for sheep next. So let's try and do a flip around. That's my spring gardens here at my house. I'm not sure how they're going out at my in-laws, where I'll definitely be shooting some videos. I'm really happy with how it's progressing and how it looks, and I'm hoping we can have a great spring harvest. At my in-laws, we planted a lot of peas out there to help inoculate the soil, and I'm hoping they'll start really shooting up. We've had some wonderful rain coming in this last part of April, and today being the 1st of May, as you can see, it is cloudy skies behind me. So I hope this is going to bring in some more rain, giving us a time before we actually have to start turning on irrigation water. But thank you for joining me, and I hope you've learned something, or if you have any questions, please post them below. I really wanted to talk more about the square foot garden because I have I shouldn't say a lot of new subscribers, but I have a few new subscribers that might be interested in that and explaining how it works. So you can expect that in the future. I want to do one about what do I do with all my compost, because I make a lot of it. One of the things I did this year with it is I actually fertilized my lawn with it. But expect some more videos along those ends, more with the chickens in it, and I just hope you all a wonderful spring. And if you're starting to plant, I hope you have a wonderful time with that, and you have a great harvest come this fall. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.